Okay, today in our notes we are going to be focusing on what we call the circular flow diagram. When we're talking about a market economy, meaning it works because people are making individual choices and decisions in order to benefit themselves, and it has nothing to do with what the government is saying. The circular flow diagram is used to demonstrate how the money flows around and around, and also used to demonstrate how businesses and people, what we call households, interact. So you're going to want a full piece of paper to write this down. Write it as big as you can, but also give yourself room to write around it. So on the left-hand side of your paper, you are going to write or draw a little house like this. And that little house stands for households. Households is what we say in economics to mean just people, regular people. And then on the right-hand side of your paper, you're going to draw what is supposed to be a little factory, a little bit of smoke coming out of it, and that represents firms. Another name for firm is a business. You need to know that. Another name for firm is a business. Same thing, two different words for the same thing. They are synonyms. Okay. Next, we are going to draw an arrow going from the households to the firms. And then again, from the firms back to the households. Then you'll draw another arrow going back from the firms to the households, and then close that circle from the households to the firms. Now, up here is what we call the product market. Product market. Now, a market is where things are bought and sold, and a product is something that is bought and sold. So here we're talking about a place where things are bought and sold. You could think of it like a store. So what happens in a store? In a store, if I was going to go to Walmart and buy a bag of chips, the chips would go from the firm of Walmart to me, and I'm represented in a household. So in the product market, from the firms to the household, that is what the book calls physical flow and what we are going to call stuff. So in a product market, stuff goes from businesses to households. Well, we don't get that stuff for free. We have to pay money. So that line up there, we are going to label that money. So in the product market, we exchange stuff for money. Now, below is called the factor market. You guys should know now that about the factors of production. Factor market. It is called it is called the factor market because it is a place where factors of production are bought and sold. Factors of production, as a review, they are land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. The easiest factor of production to think about in the factor market is labor. So people provide labor to firms, so households provide labor to the businesses. So the arrow going from the households to the firms or businesses, those are, we're going to label that line the factors of production. And the easiest one to remember is labor. So in parentheses, we're going to write labor. Factors of production, labor. Well, and in return for those factors of production, we provide the labor to the businesses, and in return, they again have to give us money. And that money we usually refer to as our paycheck. So we work for them and they pay us for that work. That again is a market. We don't often think of that, but when we are going to our jobs, we are providing labor, and in return we get paid for that. Just like when we go to the store in the product market, we give them money, they give us stuff. It's always an exchange. In a perfect market economy, this is the way that it works. The money goes around and around, back between the households and the firms, back and forth.